When I was asked to serve on the Leadership Council for the Center for Indian Country Development, I was very interested because the one thing I found out in my work through these last 30 years is you can never bring enough visibility and education about Indian country to the world. The Fed's desire to work in entrepreneurship, small business, education, home ownership, those are all things that desperately need to be addressed in Indian country, and there's good groups out there doing it. I mean, there's plenty of groups doing it, but they need the credibility of the Fed alongside of them to really move this forward. The barriers are land, the land issues around that, the secured transaction codes that affect that, or just good policy, good business policies on reservations. And education is also a piece of that, the right kind of education to move people towards being self-sufficient. And so the Fed to be willing to focus on that is going to be really important. As chair of the Center for Indian Country Development, I hope that's one of the things that we really work through and figure out what are those strategies, how the Fed really adds value to what the CDFIs and other partners already working in Indian country can accomplish. We have a terrific council at this point, a leadership council. I mean, it's people that have worked in institutions across Indian country. They've worked in policy areas for many years, or they've been practitioners. And so really bring a deep understanding of Indian country. National Congress of American Indians is represented, the National American Financial Officers Association is represented, as well as people like me that have been a practitioner and been working in the trenches for many years. So I mean, I think it's a really well thought out council, and with some very experienced people that their whole mission has been working in Indian country and improving it. The Fed clearly understands that individual entrepreneurs is what's going to bring a diverse economy to these reservations. And that's what, the partners on the ground are beginning to understand too. So together, I think that we can really move this forward. Through, the data that they are able to gather and analyze, through their influence and their ability to convene and to shine a light on the educational systems and what can help make that better. As well as, just working with the partners on the ground that are trying to do this in a way that will bring it together. I think we're at a really unique period. And Indian country is on the cusp of moving forward. The Fed can play a huge role in this. It really is changing how it's doing business. The private sector is becoming more important, and I think tribal leaders are understanding that to have a real economy, you have to have a diverse economy, which means individuals have the ability to get into business, to own homes. So therefore, policies around those have to enable that, and that's where the Fed can play a real role.